tough physical players, DA. They don't take plays off. We'll get a chance to see two very stout defensive teams here, Steve. Points are going to be hard to come by.
Yeah, you're going to have to find a way to get some easy buckets. But both these teams, they take away your first and second options. Little things like offensive rebounds, second chance points might make the difference.
They make you pay, though, don't they? Huh?
Yes, indeed.
Buyer beware or driver beware. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the court for the Celtics, Thomas is the point with Bradley to his side. Johnson is out there with Jay Crowder. And it's Horford in at the center position.
Look, that's in his range, but he had a defender right up in his chest.
And the wide open shot from Crowder. They get it again. Another shot, and the shot is good from Johnson. Johnson's got the first points up on the board tonight here for the Celtics. Outside Rondo. Gibson the screen. Butler in the corner. Good. And it's Rondo who picks up the assist. Butler's got his first 3 points of the game.
Pretty good with the ball in his hands off the dribble. But now you're seeing the other facet of his game, the catch-and-shoot jump shot.
Now here's Johnson. His last outing, he had 8 points. Picked by Horford. 5 to shoot. Here's Thomas. And it's Wade with the rebound. Last game for the Celtics, they pick up the win against the Brooklyn Nets.
Proficient in that game at the offensive end of the floor. I mean, their passing was dynamic and their shot selection was superb.
Just a flawless execution in how they attacked on offense. Couldn't have asked for a better result.
And there's the pass to Johnson. Feeds it to Crowder. In the corner, Bradley with it. Here's Horford. And it's off target. Not sure why he took that one.
And the Celtics, really since the departure of the big three and Rajon Rondo, doing an amazing job of stockpiling assets and draft picks all along while still being competitive. So you had to know, though, that front office wouldn't hesitate to make a big move. This is an organization that seeks to compete for championships and nothing else.
And the Celtics last season in a quote-unquote rebuild mode. And yet, Greg, they were among the best teams in the NBA, certainly the East. Did they need to make any trades?
You know, they basically had to start combining assets. They were already one of the deepest teams in the league. They had 3 first-round picks in that 16 draft, 3 second-rounders. At some point, you have to make a quantity-for-quality trade because you only get 15 spots.
They just can't seem to get everyone on the same page offensively. 1 of 5 to start.
Rondo kicks to Gibson. And the shot no good, a bit short.
Not the best shot right there with a good defender draped all over you.
No, not at all. When you see him guard you, just try to move the basketball on.
And the call will be against Robin Lopez. That is his first foul of the game. And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. The dish to Horford. Butler with the steal.
Good eyes by the defense. Clearly, that's not where he wanted the pass to go, and he's frustrated.
No good on the shot, a bit long that time. Celtics trail by 6. Left side, Thomas. 1:56 left to play in the first. Boston, no good that time either. Now the Bulls with it. It's been 8 unanswered points for him.
Taj Gibson's one of those players that's just always in the right place at the right time, never plays outside himself on either end. He just gives you effort every time out.
Crowder goes in. The shot off that time. Some solid defense from Butler. Rondo with it. Now Thomas defending. Lopez sets a screen for Rondo. Here's Butler. Johnson with the block. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. Bulls making a switch here. Mirotic is checked in. And then for Boston. Kelly Olynyk checked in for Johnson. And Smart subbed in for Avery Bradley. .119 left to play here in the first. Just 5 to shoot to the wing right side. Here's Mirotic. And again, no good by Chicago. And with Gibson, you like that he can play as a starter or come off the bench. He's effective in both. He's comfortable in either role, as he's done both, Steve, for extended periods of time.
Because his mindset, whether starting or coming off the bench, is to play with energy, effort, and to defend. So any role, starter or off the bench, he thrives.
And Mirotic throws it down.
Obviously, Rondo's main priority is to dish the rock. When you're open, he'll get it to you.
Smart with the ball. Screen by Olynyk. Thomas gets a wide open look. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Thomas got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Here's Rondo. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. And there's the foul on Jay Crowder. That is his first foul of the game. There's 14 seconds left in the first quarter. Now Grant. Chicago needs to get off a shot here.
Mirotic is not phased at all. Doesn't matter what you're throwing his way, he's going to top it.
And that concludes the first quarter of play. Bulls out front, up by 7. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And Celtics head coach Brad Stevens lured away from a very successful tenure with the Butler Bulldogs. He talked about the challenge of making that decision.
The only hard part of that decision is leaving a place that you really loved for 13 years. I couldn't have left without knowing that it was a place that we were going to stay together and really commit to a process together. And I was sold on that, and I continue to be sold on it.
I wonder if Coach Brad Stevens feels like he's recruiting another college class with all those draft picks lost in his stockpile.
I know he's feeling real good about his decision. He's one of the bright coaching stars in our league.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And taking a look at Chicago's performance here, guys, what have they been doing or not doing?
I just don't know that you're going to see a better quarter defensively than what we saw in the first.
Yeah, they were in total lockdown mode there. Can they keep it up for their entire game? It remains to be seen.
Mirotic and Gibson up front. Valentine out there with Grant. And it's McDermott in at the 3 spot. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Kenneth Faried, and call him Kenneth. He gets mad when you say Ken. He's the manimal, one of the best rebounders in the league. He plays with a tremendous motor. But Faried said, I never looked at myself as just an energy player. I just have a lot more passion than other people in the league. And I play hard. I have talent and passion. Kevin?
A key player for Team USA gold medal in 2014. Thanks, D.A. Snell's checked in for Mirotic. Steve, you were such a terrific three-point shooter in your day back in that 2001-2002 season. You led the league, in fact, in three-point percentage. You and I were having a conversation about great three-point shooters a little while ago. Did you ever think that shot would make the mark in the league that it has now made with the Currys and the Klay Thompsons and the way they're firing from distance?
You know what, Kevin, I shot it well that year. Tim Duncan, giving him a lot of credit, and David Robinson. They drew a lot of double teams. But they're not shooting a three ball right now. I shot right around that line. These guys are shooting so far out, still with a high percentage and with a lot of volume. It's unbelievable what these guys are doing now with the three ball.
Would you play differently now with the league the way it is now than you did when you played the game?
Yeah. I'd be a stretch four.
Yeah,
I mean, you start to look
right.
at it, probably wouldn't be playing the point guard position, probably be a stretch four.
And what a breakout year it was for Doug McDermott in 2016. He saw a lot more time on the floor, and he earned it with better production, Steve, in every facet of his game.
Yeah, I think the breakout year for him is on the defensive end. And also the game as a youngster, it's hard to come into a team that good. But I think for Doug McDermott, being able to shoot the basketball, but also being able to defend is the reason why he's got more time, and that's why he looks better.
And a breakdown of the assists and turnovers over the last 10 games relative to the season as a whole for Rondo. Celtics trail by 11. Smart dishes to Urebko. Kicks it to Bradley. That'll go on McDermott. That is his first foul of the game. Amir Johnson's checked in for the Celtics. Amir Johnson. Just about a minute and a half has gone by here in the second. Screen by Olynyk. Smart. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Smart's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Not the best pick I've ever seen, but it was just enough to get the job done.
Snell kicks to McDermott. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Right side Gibson. To the inside. Here's Grant. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
Fred Hoiberg with the Bulls. Still on his learning curve. Coming from the college game to the pro, he still has some adjustments to go.
Brown right side. Pass to Jerebko. Dishes it to Smart. 6 to shoot. Shot from 12. And it comes off the front of the rim. And for Hoiberg, I think the Bulls know, Steve, that he'll have a bit of a learning curve as this is his first time as a head coach in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, when you start looking at the NBA, they want you to win now. But for Fred Hoiberg, it is a learning curve. And last year, I thought, was a learning curve for Hoiberg. This year should be better.
Screen by Olynyk. And here's Brown outside. Kept alive. And the shot is good. The Chicago lead has been cut down to 8 on the bucket from Johnson.
And that's a great play on the backboard for him. I mean, it's what we expect. All his second chance points do not come by accident.
And that one is good.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
A minute 42 left to play here in the half. Brown kicks to Smart. Here's Jerebko, and the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line to try to make it a 3-point play.
How about the purpose with which he's crashing the backboards right now? Some hard-earned second chance points.
So Chicago ends up going with the new group. And then for Boston, Al Horford is checked in for Olynyk. Crowder comes in for Johnson. And it's Isaiah Thomas in for Brown.
You know, you figured that Dwayne Wade might be a player to finish his career playing for just one team, the Miami Heat, but in the end, things just ended bitterly. The Wade had taken less money in the past so the Heat could win titles. I mean, he was done playing for a discount, and the Bulls, boy, did they step up.
Lopez, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one, drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
And for a center, Robin Lopez is definitely one of the better free throw shooters in the league.
The Bulls have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far. And the first one drops. And with the trade of Derrick Rose and the departure of Pau Gasol, it seemed like the Bulls might look to rebuild and go young. Then they reverse course and get Chicago native Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, and don't forget the deal for Rajon Rondo. They're taking kind of a blended approach. Not a lot of three-point shooting in that backcourt. So it'll be interesting to see how all these pieces fit together.
You talk about the Bulls team last season, a little bit of dysfunction. The Bulls decided to break up the backcourt of Rose and Butler. That was a surprising move to me.
Thomas passes to Jerebko. Smart dishes to Thomas. From deep. The shot, no good. Good D by Rondo. Chicago leading by 9. And thinking back to the Bulls trade, it's never easy to move an all-star guard. But, it probably had to be done.
Yes, it is. I mean, when you have an all-star, when you start talking about change, you want to get and bring in value. I think the Chicago Bulls, they had to do this. It's just going to take some time for this to settle in.
And the basket by Wade.
If you let Wade get the ball that deep, there really isn't anything you can do.
26 seconds left here in the second. Smart kicks to Crowder. Lopez with the block. Mirotic, the pass to Butler. Let's go. And he hits the buzzer beater.
And he beats the buzzer to end the quarter.
No panic at all when the shot clock is ticking down. Handled it just like any other shot.
And we've reached halftime in this one. Bulls lead by 13. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks. Dwayne, is defense the area of emphasis in the second half?
That's what's going to win this game for us. It's a good offensive team. We can't give them second chance points. We can't come out in the second half and turn the ball over. So if we're going to win, it's going to be on the defensive end.
Yes, you have to keep them one and done. Thanks, Dwayne. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview. And we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here, along with Chicago was looking great right away. They put together the kind of powerful run that every team would love to have, 10-2 off the tip. By the end of the first quarter, their lead was 7. Then in quarter number 2, they actually increased their intensity to pull further out in front, finishing with a double-digit advantage at the half. And Shaq, what did you see out there from the Bulls?
You got to like their offense efficiency. They were patient, took good shots. That was reflected in their high field goal percentage.
And that about wraps it up.
Welcome back to the hustle and bustle of Chicago, a time-lapse view of all the traffic heading toward downtown. And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but anything can happen. We've seen so many former players who are now coaches in the NBA and players that, Steve, you played against. Do you ever think that they'd be coaches when you faced off against them as you were playing them?
Yeah, some of those guys, for sure, like a Jason Kidd, I say he's going to make a great coach one day. You just knew it was in his blood. Now you get a chance to see Steve Kerr, T. Lue, Tyronn Lue's one of those guys. He's going to make a good coach, and they're doing it right now and having a lot of success.
Kevin McHale, to me, was the thinking man's player, was a terrific coach. He did both, but he lost the job at Houston, which shocked so many people.
I thought he did a fantastic job. And one thing you love about Kevin McHale, he also was a general manager, then got a chance to come to the coaching role. He just has a basketball mind. He loves the game.
Second half underway. Here's who Brad Stevens got on the floor. Thomas is the point with Bradley to his side. Jay Crowder out there with Amir Johnson. And it's Horford in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, it was controversial in Chicago, but the Bulls hired Fred Hoiberg to replace Tom Thibodeau. Hoiberg played for a decade in the NBA, and at Iowa State, he was the fastest coach in school history to reach 100 wins. In Chicago, guys, it seems he's loosened the reins a bit, giving the players a little more leeway to shoot with confidence and air it out offensively.
The players have responded. Thanks, David.
And for me, one of the more unsung players in the league, Al Horford, a two-time national champion at the University of Florida, one of the most skilled and versatile big men in our league, and he hasn't gotten the attention I believe he deserves.
Free throw drops for Al Horford. And with Horford's free agency looming this last summer, last season was a tricky spot for the Atlanta Hawks. Would they be able to keep him?
Yeah, and you go back to the lack of exposure he's gotten. I mean, from the Dominican Republic, he's a Spanish-speaking star. I mean, his marketing and endorsement potential in bigger markets, something he is well aware of.
So Horford gets 2. And here in the second half of play, we're just over a minute in. And here's Rondo. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. And there's Dwayne Wade on the assist from Lopez.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Now a timeout called by Boston. And the Celtics a stifling defensive ball club under head coach Brad Stevens.
I mean, tremendous perimeter defenders. One of the top-rated teams in the league in terms of steals. And even without being a dominant defensive rebounding and shot blocking team, they were so good on the wings that it didn't matter.
Chicago making some changes. Doug McDermott, he's checked in for Gibson. Valentine comes in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Jaren Grant in for Rajon Rondo. Then for the Celtics, Olynyk comes in for Al Horford. And it's Brown in for Crowder. Thomas kicks to Olynyk. Just over a minute and a half played here in the third. The Celtics working the ball around now. Shot clock at 6. Thomas, that's good.
Yeah, perfect release that time. I mean, I thought it might get blocked, but no.
The reason why, he understands how to create space. Got it off just in time.
Lopez a screen. Grant dishes to Lopez. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. And with Chicago and the Bulls, it seems that no matter what the current team does, they'll always be playing in the shadow of his airness, Michael Jordan.
Tough act to follow when you talk about the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls.
Take a break.
Every great player that Bulls have,
shots.
they get compared to Michael Jordan. That's just not fair.
And the first one at the line is good. Tony Snell's checked in for the Bulls. Lopez hits them both. And Smitty, you were just starting in the league when NBA basketball games were becoming what they are today in the 90s. The popularity of the game has just increased so substantially. Was it strange to see yourself being portrayed in video games as we see now? And how did you react to it?
You know, very humbling, Kevin, to get a chance to see yourself, your name being called in the video game. But what I did like, Kevin, I was so skinny. The video game had me looking buff with muscles and everything. So I like that.
You look pretty good right now.
Yeah, that's because you're my friend.
A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. Thomas's shot is off.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Grant kicks to McDermott. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
McDermott on your squad is like having a guy that you can rely on knocking down shots from the stretch four position.
For Chicago, they have shot a good percentage from the free throw line so far. They've made 5 out of 6.
And last season, as a team, they knocked down 79% of their free throws. So those are numbers you'll be happy with.
First one falls for him. Chicago making a switch here. Mirotic is checked in. Jerebko's checked in for Boston. And McDermott drops them both. Second half of play, and we're 3 minutes into the third here. Stolen by Grant. Oh, and a fast break for the Bulls. That's good from McDermott on the assist by Grant. McDermott's got 6 points.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
I love to see them push it like that because the reason why, he's a deadly finisher in the transition game.
A three from Bradley drills the three-pointer. Bradley's got his first 3 points of the game.
There was no defense present there whatsoever. Anyone could have made that wide open shot.
Well, Isaiah Thomas, a first-time All-Star in 2016, only the second player in NBA history, 5'9" or shorter, to merit that honor. I didn't know that.
Yeah, following in the footsteps of the legendary Calvin Murphy. And for a guy taken with the 60th and final pick of the 2011 draft, Thomas no longer Mr. Irrelevant. Another step in his quest to become the best under 6-foot basketball player to ever lace him up.
Excellent job working the ball around the court and into the paint for the easy made shot. That's just great ball movement.
Passes it to Snell. Back to McDermott, and it's Grant in the corner. Just 4 to shoot. It's not going to go for him. Great D that time from Thomas. To the middle. Here's Olynyk. Makes it off the glass. Olynyk's got his second bucket of the night.
And he found the soft spot in the D on that possession.
The feed to Snell. Now here is Mirotic. He dishes it to Snell. Grant against Thomas. From beyond the arc. No good from Grant. Outside Bradley. 11 feet away, and it's blocked by Mirotic. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. It's the Bulls up 11. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports.
Moments make players into stars. Moments make teams legendary. This is my moment. This is my team.
And meanwhile, Coach Brad Stevens talking to his team.
Piece by piece, chip away. See if you can't, next time we get together, have it down.
And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Mirotic and Gibson up front. Rajon Rondo is out there with Dwayne Wade. And it's Butler in at the small forward spot. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Inside. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that. 9 points for Taj Gibson. Smart with the ball. Pass to Bradley. Fires the 3. Drains it from beyond the arc.
Wow, something's brewing, guys. The three-pointers just continue to flow.
Outside Gibson. He feeds it to Wade. And the shot falls short this time.
You love the closeout on that possession.
I love it because you don't give up on the play. Just that little contest bothered his shot.
And that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession.
You know what? A low percentage pass on that one, but sometimes it's worth the risk.
Yeah, questionable, but it almost got through. It's probably a quick bucket if it did.
Robin Lopez is checked in for the Bulls. Back to Bradley. Gibson with the steal. And it's Wade in the corner. Outside Rondo. He kicks to Gibson. Lopez sets a screen for Rondo. 5 to shoot, and stolen by Horford. In the corner, Bradley with it. Good, and Smart gets the assist. Bradley's got it back down to within single digits for Boston. Bulls shooting has been beyond great up until now. How about 57% from the field overall? Rondo passes to Lopez. Crowder with the steal. Here's the teardrop.
And Jay Crowder really kind of stuck as a role player in Dallas, sent the Celtics in the Rondo trade, and boy, has he been a culture setter for Boston. The consummate pro, one of the most competitive players in our league, and he's become a difference maker on both ends. I think he's improved tremendously in the past season. Credit him and Coach Brad Stevens.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. The Bulls leading by 5. Outside Rondo. There's the pass to Gibson. Butler against Crowder. Good work there as it goes. And one of the things that stands out about Jay Crowder is that it's 6'6", 235, very physically strong.
Yeah, he plays bigger than his height. Not shy about throwing his weight around. And one of the league leaders in steals per game. He can cover on the wing and body you up on the block.
Rondo dishes to Butler. Lopez kicks to Butler. Gibson the screen. Outside Rondo. Second chance shot. Shot's good by Gibson. And the Bulls lead by 7.
That's the kind of energy Gibson gives you, destroying opponents on the glass. Tough to box this guy out.
Smart kicks to Horford. Tries from 16. Again, the miss by Horford. For Chicago, they've gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. Gibson the screen. Outside Butler. To the paint. Here's Lopez. That one off the back iron and out.
You know, they don't score on that shot, but they're going to be happy with those kinds of possessions.
Butler against Crowder. Feeds to Horford. Trying to find Johnson. He's got it now. That shot off, so the Bulls will take it the other way. They led by as many as 18 points. 1:19 left to play here in the fourth. Lopez a screen. Back to Rondo. Tries a 3. And Boston with the rebound.
It's going to take something special for them to come back now.
They can't worry about that. They need to find the quickest shot possible.
Lets it go. Boston again missing.
I like that shot for him, though. Very little defensive pressure. He typically rises up and buries that.
Gibson the screen. Butler with the ball. Now guarded by Crowder. Crowder with the steal. Here's Smart. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Here's Rondo. Connects on the 17-footer.
Rondo is a pro in transition. He can flat out get it done.
Now a timeout called by Boston. They're behind by 9. 35 seconds left in the game. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, pure desperation right now, Clark. You think there's enough time?
So Chicago ends up going with the new group. So Boston going with almost an entire new group here. Olenek, he's checked in for Horford. Jerebko comes in for Johnson. Brown, he's checked in for Crowder. And it's Rozier in for Avery Bradley. Smart passes to Olenek. Back to Smart. From past the arc. Tries to keep it alive. And that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession. Time called here.
20,
the Celtics decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 9. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
You know what? You can talk all you want, but I just don't see a scenario that's going to get them back in it.
It's a stretch for sure to say they can come back, but it all starts with executing out of the timeout. Let's see what he draws up here.
We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And here's Brown outside. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. Here's Grant. Poke loose. Rozier kicks to Smart. Finished off the break.
And that's how you take the steal and turn it into a transition opportunity.
Great defense resulting to immediate points. Head up, and as soon as he gets it, the ball is gone.
And so it's Chicago winning this one. It was a fantastic ball game, and they did a great job making